You are not a procrastinator. You just have a habit of procrastinating. There's a world of difference. Because if it's a habit, I can tell you how to use science to break it. I used to think procrastination had something to do with what I was dawdling with. I thought it was work-related. Believe it or not, procrastination has nothing to do with your job. Procrastination is a way of relieving stress. Listen up. Let's say stuff is happening in your life. Who doesn't have that? Perhaps you are arguing with someone you value. Maybe your mom's or dad's health isn't improving and it really depresses you, or you might have financial problems. Maybe you transferred the money you saved in your Bitcoin account and it's now gone and you're stressed out. You go to work. You have a lot to do when you start working. You walk in and there's a big ball of stress hanging over your head subconsciously. You sit down knowing you have 13 calls to make. Also, you're afraid of making bad calls. There are lots of CEOs or high-ranking people you haven't called. When you sit down to make the calls, a great burden forms on your shoulders. Your brain says, "Wait a minute. You want me to call the people I'm afraid of calling?" Absolutely not. I'm super stressed. Can't we watch a cat video or something? And before you know it, an hour has passed. And what do? Of course? You blame yourself. So there's only one way to break this habit of yours. This is an important word you need to hear. You are not a procrastinator. You just have a habit of procrastinating. There's a world of difference. Because if it's a habit, I can tell you how to use science to break it. There are 3 parts to all habits. 1 is the impulse. In the case of procrastination, the impulse is always stress. Then there's a pattern you repeat. In the case of procrastination, it's to avoid doing something. The other is the reward, which is stress relief. The only way to break your habit is to not engage with this impulse. You can never rid yourself of stress in your life. But you can change 100% the way you avoid work. So the next time you find yourself floundering, if you've wasted a lot of time looking at last night's game highlights, what you need to do is say, I must be stressed about something. Accept the stress. Then count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I want you to count because I want you to block the stored stress. I want you to activate your prefrontal cortex. Then I want you to work for just 5 minutes. The reason I'm only asking you to work for 5 minutes is that your problem isn't work. It's an avoidance habit. You just need to get started. The other nice thing is, research shows, if we can get you to start, 80% of you will continue.